Hi everyone and welcome to your first maths lesson of this week. This week we are going to continue on with our place value. So we are going to be looking at partitioning numbers to 100 today. So before you begin, you are going to need some objects. So you can use some Lego or you can use some pasta. So it's up to you. You could use the long spaghetti pasta that you can cut into tens to make it a lot easier for you. And you'll also need a pencil and some paper. Okay, so like we do every lesson, we're going to begin with our flashback forward to help us recap some things we have already learned. So please pause the video after every section. So we are going to begin today with our problem of the day. So in the Langley Academy Primary, we have been taking note of all the days of sunshine. We have made a table on the screen, as you can see. What I'm going to ask you to do is to tell me how many days of sunshine there have been. And then part B is how many full rows of 10 are there and how many more suns are there. So stop the video now while you solve this problem. I'm going to go through the answers on the next page. So let's have a look at the first question. How many days of sun have there been? So the first thing you have to do is you need to work out how many there are in a row. You could count them in ones. However, this could take a long time, knowing that we can count in a larger number and be more confident. So each row is equal to 10, as you can see. So I'm going to jump in 10, 20, 30, because there's 3 rows. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little ones. And I've done one big jump. Or you could do little jumps. It's up to you which way you feel more confident. And the answer is 36. Okay. And then part B is as follows. So we are going to be using tens and ones today. We have used them when we did our place value to 50 and place value to 20. So you can see we have one 10 stick that represents the first row of 10, another 10 stick and another 10 stick, which equals 3. And then I have 6 ones, which I've put in my one side of my table, which gives me 6. It gives me a total of 36 because 3 tens is equal to, so Daisy is 30. And then I add my ones to it, which gives me 36. Okay. So well done if you solved that at home. Now is going to be your turn to solve this one. So again, we did some research and we have made a tally of every day it has rained in our classroom. So if you look at the chart, you'll be able to see how many days of rain we have had so far. So I would like you to fill in the stem sentence. There are something, rows of 10. There are more, and there have been days of rainfall. I would also like to see a tens and ones frame if you can as well, please. I am now going to go through it and solve it. So if you do not want to hear the answers or if you're unsure, you can go along with me. But if you want to solve it first, please stop the video now. So the first thing I'm going to ask is how many rows of 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I can't go any more because that's not a full row. So I have 6 rows of 10. So that means I have 6 tens. And you can also represent it by just drawing your lines if you like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's my 6 tens. And then how many more are there? So I have 1, 2, 2. So I have 2 ones. And again, I can do dots to represent them. So my answer is 62. So in total, there's been 62 days of rainfall. So well done if you solved that at home. So let's have a look at what we have here. I have used Dean's to help me make a value. What I'm going to ask you to do is to tell me what is this and what is one of these. So let's have a look. So we know that this is a tens. It's a 10 stick because it makes all of these added together into a row of 10. And these are, well done if you said at home, they are ones. So I'm going to ask you now to work out what number I have made. So if I had to use a place value grid, I'm going to move my 10 sticks into my tens. And then I'm going to move my ones into my ones. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to count them. So I have 2 tens and 3 ones. That is the same as saying 20 plus 3, which gives me 23. So well done if you managed to work that out at home. We can also use a part whole model, which is what I'm going to ask you to be using a lot more of at home this week. So in my part whole, I have my parts and they equal my whole. So to get to my whole, I need to put 2 tens. And I'm also going to put them into, actually no, I'm going to leave it up there. And then how many ones? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to put 5 ones into my whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to use my 10 frame to do this. I have 2 tens and I have 5 ones, which make 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Because I have 20 and I have 5. So well done if you got that at home. I'm going to ask you to do this one, so I'd like you to stop the video now and try and solve what number has been made. I'm now going to go ahead and solve it. So I'm going to move my tens into my whole, and I have 3 tens. And I can write that into my place value grid to begin with, because that'll make it a lot easier for me. And I'm going to write 30 next door to it as well. And I'm also going to put my plus sign in the middle. And how many ones? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put 4. And then I'm going to move it all into my whole. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll count it all together after I put the 4 into my ones. So I've got 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Fantastic. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is to solve the following. So you're going to start at A and you're going to go all the way down until you get to F. Okay, so stop the video now. It would be very useful if you could use your place value grids that you are now going to make and keep them, because they will be used throughout the week. And also the part whole models that you made previously in the other lessons, it would be a good idea for you now to get them out and use them. What I would suggest for the tens and ones, using 2 different objects, and as long as you know what the differences are, then you should be fine. Okay. There are also a couple of reasoning problems that you can work through. If you are finding these tricky, these are ones that you might want to work with your brothers or sisters or your mummies and daddies to give you a bit of support. Okay. And again, you will use your part whole models and your place value grids. And then just to finish off, true and false. So I'd like you to pause the video and I would like you to write an explanation to what you believe. Do you believe this statement is true, or do you believe it being false? So 72 can be partitioned into 7 and 2. So pause the video now and I'm going to explain on the next page. Well, it is false, because 9 can be partitioned into 7 and 2. So if I had 9, I can make 7 and 2. But if I wanted to make 72, it can't, because it needs to be partitioned into 70 and 2. So that means that it needs to be 70, and then in the second part needs to be 2. So you need 7 tens and 2 ones. And that is the end of our lesson for today. Please come back tomorrow for another maths lesson with me, Miss Mansouri. Bye, you all.